Fear of abandonment is something that many of us deal with, and it can make creating and maintaining relationships difficult. Our anxiety can push us to sabotage our relationships or even overwhelm people in our lives with clingy and needy behavior. In this video, I'm going to tell you where your fear of abandonment comes from, and I'll share some practical tips to help take away its power over your life and your relationship. Hi, I'm Emily Baker from LoveLearnings. We offer simple relationship advice for people who want to build the love life they deserve. If you're looking for the kind of relationship that lasts, hit that subscribe button right now for a new video every week. First off, let's talk about how you can tell if you have a fear of abandonment. The truth is, everyone has dealt with this in one form or another. In severe cases, it's referred to as separation anxiety, but today we'll be talking about the less clinical form. I'm going to make a series of statements, and if you can relate to any of these, then chances are you'll benefit from the advice in this video. I'm worried my partner will leave me. I need to be better, or I'll end up all alone. I haven't heard from him today. Is something wrong? Being away from home makes me nervous. I'm jealous of other women in his life. It's better I break up with him now, rather than waiting for him to do it. He's been quiet lately. Does he even like me? I push others away to avoid rejection. I'm always checking in on the people in my life to make sure they're okay. Everyone always leaves me eventually. If you've had any of these thoughts or noticed these patterns in yourself, then chances are you're dealing with a fear of abandonment. These patterns are often established in childhood. If your parents are divorced or you had a tumultuous childhood, then chances are that's the source of your fear of abandonment. But it isn't always that simple. Sometimes it can be traced to us not getting the kind of love we wanted when we were young kids. It's even possible to have a happy and healthy childhood with two parents and a loving relationship and still end up with an overwhelming fear of abandonment. It's also very common for people who have been cheated on or hurt in the past. So let's talk about how the fear of abandonment can affect your behavior and, in turn, your relationships. First off, it can create problems where there are none. Ever feel like the less there is going on, the more your mind runs wild? Those of us with fear of abandonment let our imagination get the better of us and fight an internal battle that has no winner. This kind of negative thinking can be extremely draining, and the resulting fatigue can be detrimental to your love life. Next, there's the needy and clingy behavior that comes out when you try to face your fear of abandonment. This is when you're constantly reaching out to your partner and trying to check the temperature of the relationship. This can quickly cross the line into smothering if you're not careful. And finally, a common theme of those who fear abandonment is the preemptive breakup. This is when you notice that things aren't going all that well with your partner, and instead of talking it out, you simply end things to avoid being hurt yourself. None of these behaviors are conducive to a happy and healthy relationship. So what can you do to prevent your fear of abandonment from overwhelming your relationship? 1. Spend more time connecting. An obvious solution to your fear of abandonment can often be to spend more time with your partner to help convince your conscious mind that they're not going anywhere. Another solution is to seek professional help. In this case, I'm talking about Amy North. Amy is a relationship coach who has helped thousands of women just like you get their love lives right where they want them. Just head over to coachnorth.com right now and watch her free video presentation there. That's coachnorth.com. 2. Make plans in advance. I find that many people with a fear of abandonment are anxious making plans too far in advance. They're afraid that suggesting things like this will push their partner away and make them leave. In reality, it often has the opposite effect. Creating plans well in advance can actually be a bonding experience for couples as they get to feel the anticipation together. And when you bought the plane tickets and got your vaccinations, you'll know that your fear of abandonment was actually just in your head. 3. Consider therapy. If you have access to a therapist or counselor, I highly recommend you seek their help with this issue. I know that this can be difficult to talk about with anyone, much less a stranger, but they really can be a big help to finding the root of your issue and getting you past it. Therapists actually help your fear of abandonment in another way. They can be a steady and consistent presence in your life, and you can count on them when you need them. In this way, they allow you to understand on a deep level that you're not going to be abandoned. 4. Tell your partner how you're feeling. This isn't the best course of action for everyone dealing with fear of abandonment. I only recommend it to those whose fear is starting to affect their relationship negatively. Basically, if your partner has started to suspect that there's something wrong, It can be better to be open and honest about what's really going on, rather than leaving them to fear the worst. This conversation can be difficult. Just try your best to share how you feel with your partner and let them know that your fear comes from your own issues, not from their behavior. Let them know anything they can do to help you feel more secure. 5, cut down your texting. I find that fear of abandonment and the resulting conflicts and hurt feelings are all exacerbated by texting. This is because texting has become a huge part of our communication and relationships. While it's nice that we're able to stay more connected than we could previously, I found that texting can actually cause more problems than it solves. This is because texting is only a simulation of a conversation. It allows us to go through the same motions, but lacks very important factors that make face-to-face communication so rewarding. First off, for many people, it's not their preferred method of communication. I don't know many people who say they'd rather get to know someone by texting than they would get to know them in person. So if 50% of your communication is happening in a form that you don't prefer, you're at a disadvantage when it comes to connecting. Second, and more importantly, when you're texting, you don't have the ability to send or receive body language, tone, or physical affection. Imagine you were telling your boyfriend about your day, and he responded in a complete monotone, without making eye contact, and had a blank expression on his face. Chances are you wouldn't feel very good about your relationship, and you might become worried that something was wrong. Now, with texting, no matter how many exclamation points or emojis you use, you're essentially doing that exact same thing. It's bound to cause anxiety about your relationship at a subconscious level. So, while you may only be having problems communicating over text, if you're doing most of your communicating this way, your mind processes it as problems with your relationship in general. Make sense? That's why I recommend that women who are having trouble with a fear of abandonment in relationships limit their texting with their partner and focus on face-to-face interactions as much as possible, or in a pinch, phone calls. Well, that about does it for today's video. I hope you found something useful here. If I missed anything, please leave me a comment below and I'll get back to you. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel for a new video every week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.